Hello and welcome to Vietnam Journal, our daily English news bulletin on NetViet VTC 10. I'm Ngọc Ánh speaking from Hanoi. Every day we will bring you comprehensive and up-to-date information on Vietnam and following our major stories on Thursday. Agricultural cooperation between Vietnam and Israel. Italian photo exhibition in Hanoi. Australian man impressed with old handicraft street in Hanoi. Having convenient access to Asian and European markets, the United Arab Emirates is a center for trade, finance, transport, tourism, exhibitions and seminars. Businesses in the Mekong Delta are stepping up the exports of agricultural products to the UAE.
The total earning from this market since the beginning of this year reached $118 million. The main export products to United Arab Emirates are shrimp, frozen fish fillet, coconut, and rice. In 2009 and 2010, Vietnam earned $292 million from farm products export to this Middle East country. Vietnam's imports from United Arab Emirates are plastic materials, crude oil, chemicals, auto spare parts, and technology equipment. Trading with United Arab Emirates would bring high profit, but contain risks. Thus, Vietnamese businesses are recommended to gather full information on United Arab Emirates partners to limit risks.
Israel's agriculture is a success story of a long struggle against adverse conditions. Meanwhile, Vietnam is on its road to modernize its agriculture. VTC 10 reporter has sat down with Mr. Zafri Assaf, First Secretary of Economic Affairs at Embassy of Israel in Vietnam, to talk about this Vietnam-Israel agricultural cooperation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zafri Assaf, for joining our talk today.
Thank you very much.
The Foreign Ministry of Israel has the Center for International Cooperation, which is known as Mashaf. So how has this center contributed to Israel's cooperation with Vietnam in agriculture?
Mashab programs and courses have contributed immensely to the cooperation between the two countries. Mashab practically provides training for professionals from all over the world, including Vietnam, who are taught and trained by Israeli experts. And this is one of the most powerful and effective ways of knowledge transfer between Israel and Vietnam. In addition, on the other hand, by creating this dialogue through the courses of Mashab, Israeli enterprises and experts are able to better define the needs of the Vietnamese agriculture.
Could you give some examples of Israeli successful projects in agriculture in Vietnam?
The main project that is going on now in Vietnam is in the dairy sector. An Israeli company called Afikim, Afimilk, established husbandry in the northern province of Nean, where Israeli experts use Israeli technology to work with the Vietnamese professionals and increase the production of milk by the cows in this region. This is considered to be the largest husbandry, the largest cowshed in the world. One of the biggest projects that ever were conducted between the two countries. I believe it did change the life of people in Nean province and all across Vietnam, since the ability to provide enough fresh milk or in such large quantities did not exist before. And the remarkable cooperation enabled TH Milk with Afikim to produce more milk with less cows, which is a miracle in itself.
Could you please tell us the Israel Embassy's plan to boost agricultural cooperation with Vietnam?
We understand that agriculture is a key sector in Vietnamese economy, and we, as I mentioned before, we have a lot to contribute, and we also have a lot to learn from the Vietnamese side. So in our 2012 work plan, we have several activities and projects aiming at enhancing this cooperation. I will mention maybe two, which are the ongoing training courses of Mashab and Agritech, that is international conference and exhibition that will be held in Israel in May, and we hope and expect to see key decision makers and a large delegation coming from Vietnam to Israel.
Thank you for your information. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to some other news, a Vietnamese delegation is attending an exhibition on World Telecom in Geneva of Switzerland. The event's theme is using technology to improve life.
The Telecom Forum is organized by the International Telecommunication Union, or ITU. It draws the participation of over 1,500 governmental officials and representatives from the global technology industry. The union states that the world has about 2.3 billion internet users. Almost half of those internet users were under 25. Developing countries had the fastest growth in IT. The world leading economies in IT are in Europe and Asia Pacific. Vietnamese delegates discussed ITU's cooperation and support for the Asia country with the Union General Secretary. Mobile subscriber density in Vietnam doubled in just 2 years, from 87% in 2008 to 150% in 2010. The total mobile subscribers in Vietnam is now around 120 million.
Vietnam's export revenue in October rose 4.5% against last month to $8.3 billion after 3 consecutive months of decline. Vietnamese officials say the country earned an export value of more than $78 billion in the first 10 months, a year-on-year rise of 34.6%.
Garments and textiles took the lead among export staples with around $11.7 billion in the past 10 months, a year-on-year rise of 29.4%, followed by footwear with more than $5.1 billion, up 25.8%, and seafood with more than $4.9 billion, up 22.8%. Wooden furniture, machinery and equipment, electronics and computers also made important contributions to the country's 10-month export value. The U.S. remained the top importer of Vietnam's garments and textiles, followed by the EU and Japan. Vietnam estimated that the country's export revenues will reach $95 billion this year, a year-on-year rise of 31.6%.
And following is some business news in brief.
The 7th Vietnam Motor Show 2011 will go into overdrive from November the 16th to the 20th in Ho Chi Minh City. The motor show will be co-organized by the Vietnam Automobile Manufacturers Association in coordination with Asia Trade Fair and Business Promotion Holding. Participants include major foreign invested automakers in Vietnam such as Toyota, Mercedes-Benz and GM. The show will feature more than 60 new car models and draw the participation of more than 100 national and international enterprises. The Japan Bank for International Cooperation has pledged finance to Hanoi for environment and transport infrastructure projects in the near future. The bank made the affirmation on Monday. It is discussing new opportunities of cooperation with the capital city of Vietnam. The funding will be disbursed through the Hanoi Investment Fund for Development in the form of preferential credits or public-private partnership. Vietnam Technological and Commercial Joint Stock Bank or Techcombank and Vietnam Coffee and Cocoa Association or VITCOFA jointly held a ceremony to sign a coffee export agreement on October the 26th in Hanoi. Techcombank affirms to assist 2,000 billion Vietnam dongs with preferential interest for coffee export enterprises for 2011 and 2012 crop. Techcombank owns good reputation for supporting more than 70 coffee enterprises among 100 members of VITCOFA.
Welcome back to Vietnam Journal. A photo exhibition featuring Italian UNESCO heritage sites is underway in Hanoi from October the 25th to October the 28th. This event is meant to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the unification of Italy.
The exhibition showcased photos of Italian sites that have been recognized as World Heritage by UNESCO. Italy is now home to the largest number of World Heritage with 45 locations. Italy is regarded as the guardian of exceptional historic and cultural treasures. The Italian embassy, which organized the exhibition, says the heritage sites not only belong to the Italians but to all the people of the world. In 2010, Italy ranked 5 in top 10 international tourism destinations of the world with 43.63 million tourists.
Ho Chi Minh City Ballet Symphony Orchestra and Opera will host the Nutcracker, one of the world's most favorite classic ballets. The masterpiece will be directed by Norwegian choreographer Johan Jekyll Constant on November the 12th.
The ballet Nutcracker is based on the story The Nutcracker and the Mouse King, a fairy tale of the childhood's world. The music was composed by the famous Russian composer Tchaikovsky in 1812. The concert has become a favorite in the Christmas holiday season in many countries such as the United States. This is the first time the full ballet has been performed for Vietnamese audiences in Ho Chi Minh City. The special version will be staged by Norwegian choreographer Constant with the dancers of Ho Chi Minh City Ballet Symphony Orchestra and Opera.
Vietnamese people are very friendly and open. Hanoi's Old Quarter is very beautiful and has a lot of things to discover. This is the way an Australian man named Julian Silvermount has been feeling. Come with us and join Julian in learning more about one of the handicraft streets in Hanoi's Old Quarter.
Wow, okay, go on, come on. Wow, cars too, it's too much. When I travel throughout Southeast Asia, I can see that we live in a globalized world. That each city in Asia somehow resembles the next and is no different from many other cities in so many ways from the rest of the world. Tall buildings, expensive buildings, streets filled with cars. What I really appreciate about Hanoi is its ancient character. Somehow, 1,000 years of history of Thang Long, of Hanoi as a city, has meant that we have not lost the heritage of the city. And even in this modern time, we are still able to see that the ancient trades, that the customs, the way of life that are a part of these many streets in the Old Quarter still live on today. I'm so impressed by your business. How long have you been working here? 40 years, or big department stores. Aren't you perhaps interested in selling your business and taking the money and running away?
Nó là một cái thói quen rồi, lâu lắm lắm rồi. Đổi cũng được thôi nhưng mà nó vẫn cứ mình làm lâu rồi thì mình tức là mình vẫn không phải là không bỏ được nó, thế nhưng mà bỏ nó quen rồi.
If you were to ask me what is the most beautiful characteristic of the city, I would have to say it could be its ancient streets, where tradition lives on after so many years. It could be the French influence, it could be the colonial buildings, and I love to see those beautiful mansions and shops and buildings, even though I feel sad when I look at them because they were built with the hard labour of local people. Still now they are gorgeous though. I do love the look of the old city. I think it's very easy to be an Australian in Hanoi, and I encourage all my Australian friends in Melbourne to come to Hanoi. I say it's one of the best cities in Asia, if not the best city. Friends, wherever you are in Australia, you have to come. Come and join us in Hanoi.
Well, the Australian man's exploration of the Old Quarter in Hanoi has wrapped up our Vietnam Journal for today. From all of us here at NetViet VTC 10, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again tomorrow.